Present, sir.
Mahesh.
Yes, sir.
Harish.
Present, sir.
Saran.
Present, sir.
Parveen.
Present, sir.
Hari.
Yes.
Okay, great. Ram.
Yes, sir.
Anu.
Present, sir.
Karthik. Meenakshi Sundareshwar.
Present.
Rashwan.
Present, sir.
No, Roddick.
Present, sir.
Over to the principal.
Officially welcome to DNA School, everyone. I believe this is beginning of something really beautiful. We all have something to teach each other, and that shall be the whole idea behind DNA School. We are running our own school, our own syllabus, our own rules. If you look at it, right, typically these are nothing but people on the stage explaining something and everyone listens to it. You put this in a conference hall, it becomes a conference. These are just sessions if you look at them independently, like people just talking on the stage. But when it all connects together with an experience, that yes sir, present sir, all these things, when it connects, it immediately elevates that experience, and makes you feel it like an back to school experience.
Good morning. Very good. So I'm Epafra. I tell stories on the internet, and I'm also trying to build a storytelling company. I'm in the process of doing that. We have a very small team. I'm very new to it. I'm experimenting with that. DNA School is surprising each day because the reason is I genuinely didn't expect anything from this place. It's so fun to look at all those students asking a bunch of questions. I've taken masterclasses on Zoom, but this is more fun. Even if the number of students are relatively lesser, this is more fun than the masterclasses that I conduct. This is the topic which we are going to discuss today, which is what the fuck is storytelling?
Epafra, I would say goat of storytelling. Right, because all the sessions I have also been attending from backbench. The frameworks, there is so much of science behind storytelling, almost like a filmmaking session, editor-writer session. Like, or Instagram writer thinking like Christopher Nolan, is like thinking to that extent, right? So that is like fascinating about it.
Attention. So, story has this innate ability to capture the attention of people. There is this concept called narrative transportation. That's why even while you watch movies, initially in the first 10 minutes, you will be more aware about what is your friend doing or what is the couple who's doing, what is they doing there. But after you get into the movie, once we do the trauma warning and everything, you will not realize where you are. You will be the main character. It has the narrative transportation. And persuasive. It is inherently persuasive. While you narrate a story, you do not even have to say like, please buy my product, or it has like this discount. You just have to make them feel how your story inspires them or any emotion. You just have to make them feel an emotion. Our brain has a lot of neurons and it fires up in a different way. But when I'm narrating a story and if there is a proper listener to it, then the way our neurons fire up are very similar. This is an actual concept and we call it neuron coupling or mirroring, and of course there is trust if that happens. Next slide. I've seen a lot of people who are not very proud of being called as content creator. I've clearly noticed, it's evident, but I'm very happy being called as a content creator. I completely admire this job, huge respect to this. I'm a storyteller only after becoming a content creator. It came through content creation, so I'm a happy content creator in the first place. Your experience, your perception about every single thing will make the content unique. You will not be able to copy anything. Even if I try to talk like Shashank, I will not be able to do it. I will fail miserably. That is, yeah. Actually, that is the beauty about content creation and storytelling. Like, if you try to tell your story to the world, that itself is unique. You don't even have to try to stand out when you're telling your own story because it is a unique experience.
Some of them I've been following for about a year or two. Like for example, Epafra and all, I've been following him for about a year, and it was great. Every time I just used to wonder. Like I used to take notes of his storytelling and his Instagram, and how does this guy do it? I've been following since he was in 10K, and all of a sudden I've been following just his reels, and then I see his profile, and all of a sudden he's at 400K, and I'm like, that's something I want to capture. I used to start following him on LinkedIn after that to get him to get a chance to meet him in real life, because for my brand it's Climate Labs. So the thing is, climate technology, sustainability needs storytelling, I believe. Important causes need storytelling, and who else to teach me better than this guy?
The way our brain works, they're categorized into two different parts, which is system 1 and system 2. So system 1 is something, for example, if I just say 2 plus 2, you all will say 4. Even if I ask you not to think about the answer, you will think it's 4. That's system 1. And when it comes to system 2, you said 4. What is 64 into 96? You will have to put conscious effort, right? So that's system 2. Now, when it comes to content creation, especially when it comes to short form content, you should never ever activate system 2. No matter how complicated the topic is, it should be conveyed in a way where a 5-year-old understands. Once you activate the system 2, you are asking even more effort from the audience. An audience who is especially consuming the short form content is not there to give such efforts for you. That doesn't work there.
நான் வந்து ஸ்டோரி டெல்லிங்னா வந்து நமக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு கதையை நம்ம எவ்வளோ இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக சொல்கிறோம் இல்லை எப்படி சொல்கிறோன்னு யோசிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன். பட் ஆனால் அதுக்கு பின்னாடி யூ ஹேவ் 2 parts of your brain systems activating. இவ்வளோ டெக்னிக்கல் நான் யோசிக்கவே இல்லை. So this is something that I'm taking back.
Scripting, especially for short form content creation, if you understand the psychology behind scripting, if you understand how people perceive all of your content, then I believe you are sorted.
Storytelling basically involves talking slowly. So for me, like talking in a flow, like talking well.
That is not storytelling.
No, it needs that skill. That's not storytelling.
That is not necessary for short form content creation.
But if someone talks very hesitantly, it doesn't feel good, right?
I will answer that first. This video that you see right here, or any video that I make, people would assume that I'm very eloquent communicator. I might be, but every single video is like, every 60 seconds video that you see is like 10 minutes long. Every part can be trimmed off. So you don't have to worry about the...
Okay.
That's the beauty of a short form content creation.
Alright.
Yeah. I feel like creativity is not something, it's not an innate talent actually. Some call it innate, but what I feel is, it's just mixing and matching of different things, which a regular mind wouldn't do so. For example, the content inside the creative things are same, but the way it is connected, that makes it more creative. So if you can find patterns, again, I also talked about in the yesterday's session, if you are good at finding patterns, then you are creative. That's what I would say.
All in here, lot of things happen in your life. Lot of things happens, whenever you do business, lots of things happen. But we do not know how these are, to be told to others. And only when it is told in such a fashion, right, that everybody is able to connect, only those ideas fly. Even if you have a great idea, but you do not able to convey to the other person in such a way that they are also equally excited about it as much as you are, that idea wouldn't fly. Don't worry about whether your idea is kick-ass or it's boring. The way you tell it is what makes it kick-ass, to be honest, right? And that's something to learn from the goat of storytelling. Thank you, Professor. Professor Aishwarya. A lot of us will say this, right? Creatorship is not for me. I'm not an extrovert, right? I do not have those, ability to go and immediately connect. I do not do that. So I don't think so this would work for me. Work for her. She made it to 300K, 400, 500, 200K, right? She grew on. So she's going to talk about that. She's the right person to talk about it. And she is also going to talk about how to handle the negativity that comes to you. Because believe me, I think everyone in here, all of them would agree to it. The moment you start creating, that starts creeping in, right? So go ahead and start learning that as well, how to handle that in such a positive way. So thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Okay, so good morning. Right, okay, I was just checking how many of you are awake, fine. So yes, my name is Aishwarya. I post content in Instagram. I basically post content around IT, communication tips and a few of my personal stories. As a person, I would say I'm very introverted, and when I started content creation, the one main question I usually get is like, how being an introvert you are comfortable in front of camera and post videos. But it was easy for me because when I'm talking to camera, I can, talk whatever I want to talk, whatever I think. It's easy to express my thoughts. And Instagram has been a really great platform for me to do that. So as a person and content creator, I'd be really happy if I'm perceived as a really positive person, and if people come to my Instagram page whenever they feel low, and if my video makes them feel positive. In this 8 months, my life has changed a lot. Yes, I'm extremely introverted person. I don't like make good connections with people when I immediately meet, but I can talk. And Instagram, how it helped me is, it has been a major part of my transformation. So over this 8 months, I grew from like 0 to 200k followers, and I made really good people. And all this happened because of this one tool, Instagram. So creativity to me is, let's say, like I have a content idea. The first thing that pops up in my head, I don't call it something creative. That's a very basic idea. Like whoever thinks about the topic, they would be able to come up with this. So whenever I write a content, I don't finish it in one day. Like I sit for 2 hours dedicatedly for writing content, but I will review it maybe the next day or after a couple of days, and that is when a new idea comes up to me. It would be like, okay, this has never been done, and I have never seen a content like this before. Okay, this will work. And also, once I'm done with it, I'll check with my friends and family whether they can understand it, whether they can see it through my eyes.
Aishwarya, like I said, a lot of people can relate to her. That actually includes me too. I'm an introvert actually, right? And when I am able to do these events, I think in some form it gives hopes to everyone that it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or extrovert, you can still go ahead and make people together and do events, whatever it is that you want. Meeting people like Aishwarya strengthens that hope in you. Because I met her a few months back and now as well, and there is a huge difference in her social profile. But as a person, she's pretty much still the same, right? And there's like this kid-like, things in her, yeah.
And one more thing I want to point out is whatever you do, you're going to get hate comments. Like even if you post the most positive video out there, even if you provide so much value, you just put yourself into the content, just put in all your efforts, 2-3 days of work without sleep, you're going to get hate comment because they don't even care. Some people don't even watch your video. You're going to get comments here and there that's going to hurt you a lot.
Comments, how you face your comments. So when you get popularity and everything, the comments becomes very crucial. It's not only that, it affects your family and the family members, a lot of things. How you handle that? Our key.
Yeah, negative comments, sometimes I ignore, sometimes I block because my mom consciously watches my Instagram comments and all that, and I don't want her to see such comments. So whenever something pops up, I'll immediately delete it. Sometimes I get annoyed and I reply to texts, or maybe I post a content regarding, I basically get my content ideas from my DMs and messages as well. So if someone keeps posting hate comments, I'll get a content idea and I'll maybe post a video about how to give constructive criticism, how to handle negativity, something like this. So I see it as an opportunity for creating more content. The more the comments, the more the engagement, and Instagram thinks people like your video, even it's negative engagement, it's fine. The more the comments, it works, okay? And yes, one thing which helped me to keep motivating myself throughout this thing is, I always wanted to do something big. I don't want to settle for what I had. When I started Instagram, I had literally no idea why I was doing it. But I know I was doing something and I was going somewhere. And over the period of time, I really started to like content. And now, I feel like if I do something big in my life, Instagram would be one important tool for me, which helped me get there. And Instagram can be that tool for you too. All you have to do is start, keep posting, and you will figure it out. I might sound like a motivating speaker right now, but you will figure it out, guys, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because it worked for me, and I am a living example that it can work for you too.
How is the planning that you do? And like people like me, I'm not a editor, and how do I tackle this?
So basically, I have a personal editor who edits my videos. What I will suggest you is, if you're starting out, you can try editing it on your own, but it's a bit time consuming. You can have very good script, but if you have a good editor and if you edit it top notch, it would increase your probability of getting higher engagement and higher followers. Let me tell you how. Let's say there is a video of me just talking like this and there's no editing. People might get bored of it. But let's say I have edited it in a way that there is something popping up, or I have added captions, or I've used premium tools for editing. It would increase my engagement.
If there is one single thing that I would say, outsource editing. So there is actually a course. There is a creator called Ali Abdal. He made a course that's worth 2 lakhs. And if there is only one takeaway from that course, outsource editing. If you are not slightly interested in editing, or if you don't see yourself as an editor, then please outsource editing, because it's very time consuming. People will feel like I might not get the right editor. Of course, initially it's quite harder, but after a few iterations you will land the right partner. But once it is sorted, you will be thankful.
Professor Manoj, quite active on Instagram. You would have known him, you would have followed him. Even without this DNA school, he has a lot of these workshop programs and these things continue to teach people. So that passion to teach others, what he has learned and how he has grown, right? And he is here today with you.
Hi, I'm Manoj Chandru. So I run a edtech platform for video editors, so where we train aspiring beginner video editors to edit professional looking videos in just 10 weeks of time. I started my own video production creative agency. We worked with corporates, brands, and currently social media also. With those experience, what I realized was, okay, booming of the video content, like especially in social media, there is a huge demand. You are entrepreneurs or work in somewhere, what I will suggest is you want to understand about the storytelling in the editing aspect. Then only you can even tell an editor to, I want this type of cuts, I want this type of effects. So these are the pacing styles. The first one is a boring edit. Boring editing is nothing like complete flat, just sharing the information with a caption, that's all. Here is a fast to slow pace. So fast to slow pace means like directly we are on to the point. Without the graph should be start from the top. So when you are on to the point, we are showing some clips, we are adding music or some 5 seconds of hook people will tell, right? Those are fast to slow. Slow to fast is like you are starting the story little slow, but at the end, it should be peak. So mostly we will use it for call to action stuffs. Like still we can experiment all the stuffs like slow to fast, slow to speed, everything we can try out. It's a complete depends on what kind of content we are structuring. So it's very much important story. We want to pay attention to the storytelling, and then we want to decide on what type of pacing we need to experiment with. The creativity is like, maybe we can define in many terms, like let's say in video, when it comes to video, even though let's say the quality matters also, if you don't have quality as well, you can make it more creative.
Video consumption rate is increasing day by day. Every platforms are focusing on videos currently. So the thing we can compete with is good quality of content, high quality of video produced. Then only we can beat the competition.
I think everyone learned so much about that video editing pace. This, he broke that piece because it's a very difficult subject to teach. It's a easy subject to showcase, right? Editing, you can just, if you make a great video and you put it to people are going to just enjoy it. But to teach the creativity in itself, right? How it needs to be done, and not just the skills, but how you approach, how you think about these things, like those small changes that he mentioned, the way he thinks at them, and he also made people to think the same way that he does. That's definitely, he took one of the difficult subject in these 3 days, I would say, and he cracked it.
One thing is like, I always believe in the steel like artist concept, because we can't say like I'm doing editing for 6 years, I'm doing creative video production for 6 years, I'm an expert at it. I don't say like how many years you work, the thing every day you want to learn stuff and you want to implement it. So I'm learning every day, like there are new different type of styles are there. Many people are doing crazy stuffs. So if I saw something is amazing, I try to implement in my work. I try to recreate it first. Once that is done, okay, recreation done, I know the process, I know how to do it. Next I will do why to do it and what will impact in this content. Once I analyze it, I know where to apply that creative stuffs in the content.
So நான் இந்த மாதிரி content தான் கொடுக்க போறேன். அதுக்கு நான் fast pace தான் நான் பண்ணணும்னா can I only stick to fast pace always, or should I keep changing that?
You want to experiment. The only thing is as I said, like 6 months once on the consumption style மாறிட்டே இருக்கும்.
Okay.
6 months before வந்துட்டு fast paced editing like retention editing செமையா போமாச்சு, like motion graphic யூஸ் பண்றது. இப்போ அது வந்து audience not enjoying that. Even நீங்க எடிட்டே பண்ணாம just subtitles போடால் the reach is good.
Okay.
அப்படி இருக்கும்போது you want to experiment. I learned a lot basically. Like I learned a lot from many people. Like professors, students, also they shared mainly their questions or really taught me many things. Like I started thinking so much, okay, what we can do like this and this. It was really amazing.
இப்போது someone is starting new, அவங்க வந்து அவங்களுக்கு எந்த மாதிரி பீப்புளுக்கு எந்த மாதிரி கண்டென்ட் ஒர்க் ஆகும்?
Actually அது வந்துட்டு we want to experiment. Without experiment we can't tell like they want to try both the like they want to try the slow paced as well as the fast paced. Whichever is working for them, they want to stick on to that for initial 3 to 4 months. After that they want to experiment with different style.
Okay, good.
We have 750k subscribers on YouTube, and I pick up the phone and tell him, bro, teach YouTube for others. Bro, I am very small. Humbleness, okay, ra? Right? See, there are some qualities I think all the professors in here, share. These qualities you will find, and I want you to walk away from these 3 days not just to the skill sets of these people, but the qualities, the character qualities that these people carry as well, because that is what actually makes people successful. The humbleness, the openness to learn. They each of these professors, I was like, first I thought, should we ask professors to go and sit in the class and also listen to others, right? But I was a little bit hesitant, right? How to tell these people, you go and attend, they are YouTuber, right? You go and learn YouTube from somebody else, will there be an ego clash? But all these folks were already, the moment I picked up the phone and said, they asked, can I also attend these sessions? Can I also stay all these 3 days? These qualities, openness to learn, even though they have, been there, they have done things, they know that there are other ways to do the same things as well, and there is always something more to learn from. There are these qualities, humbleness that you need to extract as well. This is what actually makes you, you.
I'm Agnel John, founder of Error Makes Clever, where we provide unforgettable learning experience by making tech simple and unforgettable. We are doing it because we know how people are suffering to learn technology, especially students who are from Tier 2 and Tier 3. We believe if we make tech simple as enough, everyone can learn what they are learning. So that is what we are trying to provide. I posted my first photo on Instagram on April 11, and I began my first class with 4 students, and from there we inspired 1.5 million people globally and to become our followers, and trained 5,000 plus students through webinars and courses. It took me 474 days to go from starting my first class to here, okay? And also creating content organically helped us to reduce our marketing cost by 87%. In the last 3 months, we gained 8,010 leads organically. If I had to get that much amount of lead through paid ads, it would have cost me around 2 lakh rupees. Many competitors are there, so many people are creating content like me. But how do we stand out? I believe over the last 550 days, we have built a brand instead of just creating content. As a result of that, I'm standing in front of you to teach you how you can build your brand through content. The reason why we are creating content is for audience, okay? So audience probably may need what is in the demand, okay? How I create content is I usually collect questions from my audience through DMs, through comments. So I will know, okay, these all are the things they may need. So let's create content about it. Whatever content you create, it should be about survival. What I mean by survival, நீங்கள் கான்டென்ட் க்ரியேட் பண்ணுறீங்க, உங்கள் கண்டென்ட் அவன் கன்சியூம் பண்ணுறான். இந்த கண்டென்ட்டை நான் பார்த்தா என்னோடய லைஃப்பில் ஏதோ ஒரு மாற்றம் வருதுன்னு அவன் நம்பணும். Something is changing in my life because I'm consuming this content. Okay? When he realized this, அதை எப்போ அவன் ரியலைஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கிறானோ, from a stranger, he becomes your fan. When we do this, default, we are not just creating content, we are building a brand. People are starting to trust us. That is the power of content. Content creator is someone who provides value to somebody else. It can be of any form. I don't think like everyone are looking for popularity on Instagram and YouTube. Even if somebody is starting out something for popularity, eventually they will find a way to help people, because like so many people are trusting them. When people are becoming popular, so many people are trusting them. So eventually they will get the feeling of giving back something to them. Something doesn't become a brand overnight, something doesn't become nothing overnight. Overnightல நம்மளால ஒரு brand ஆயிட முடியாது, பட் டிஜிட்டலா குயிக்காக நம்மளால ஒரு brand ஆக முடியும். So yeah, let's create content and let the content create brand.
The millets are supposed to be eaten, so I'll make a biryani out of it.
DNA school?
Yes.
Okay. Hi.
Welcome our guest Professor Hariharan once again.
Thank you.
I came here to unlearn few things so that I can remove the blockers. என்கிட்ட இருக்க ஒரு பிளாக்கர் என்னன்னா, ஒரு பெரிய கொஸ்டின் மார்க் இருந்தது. அந்த கொஸ்டினுக்கான ஆன்சர் தேடி தான் நான் இங்கே வந்திருந்தேன். தேங்க்ஃபுல்லி எஸ்டர்டே அந்த கெஸ்ட் அப்பியரன்ஸ் வந்து அந்த ஹரிஹரன் he gave that answer to me.
இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் பற்றி பேசினா எல்லாருக்கும் பிடிக்குது. அப்போ ஒரு கண்டென்ட் ஒர்க் ஆகுதுன்னு தெரியும் போது அது பின்னாடி நம்ம ஓட ஆரம்பிப்போம். நம்ம டே ஒன்னே வந்து நான் இப்படி தான் கண்டென்ட் பண்ண போகிறேன்லாம் இறங்கி பண்ணலை. ஒர்க் ஆகிடுச்சு. சரி ஓகே, இது நீடு நிறையா இருக்க போல். இவ்வளோ நாள் வரைக்கும் என்னோட வாண்ட்டுக்கு தான் வேலை செஞ்சேன், எனக்காக வேலை செஞ்சேன். எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்குப்பா, எனக்காக பண்ணுறேன், எனக்கு குவாலிட்டியாக எடுக்க பிடிக்கும், எனக்கு இப்படி படும். ஆனால் அது எஸ் எனக்கு அப்படி ஒர்க் பண்ணேன். ஆனால்
கண்டென்ட்ல இல்லை,
ப்ரொடக்ஷனில் ஒர்க் பண்ணேன். ஆனால் ஒன்ஸ் ஸ்டேஜ்க்கு அப்புறம் அவங்களுக்கு பிடிக்க ஆரம்பிக்குதுல்ல, ஒரு கண்டென்ட் பிடிக்க ஆரம்பிக்குதுல்ல, அப்போ அந்த ப்ரொடக்ஷன் அது உள்ளே போடும்போது நல்லா இருக்கும்ல அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அங்கே எடுத்துக்கிட்ட ஒரு விஷயம். ஓகே, இன்ஸ்டாகிராமில் எப்படி கண்டென்ட் போடலான்னு போட்டால் வீடியோ சூப்பராக ரீச் ஆகுது. இதில் நம்ம டெக்னிக்கலை கொடுப்போம், நம்மளோட டெக்னிக்கல் ஸ்ட்ராங்கை கொடுப்போன்றது 2 ஆட் ஆன் ஆச்சு, ஹிட் ஆகிடுச்சு. அப்புறம் நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், ஓகே தெரிஞ்சிச்சு நமக்கு இதுதான் வேலை செய்யுது, இதில் நம்ம இன்னும் ஷார்ப்பனாக போவோம், இன்னும் நீஷ் பண்ணுவோம். அதுதான் அந்த லேசர் லைட் நீஷ் ஃபைன் பண்ணுறது. பண்ண ஒரு 100 வீடியோ பண்ண 200 வீடியோ பண்ண நம்ம அதில் நேரவாகிடுவோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் பேட்டர்னை ஃபைன் பண்ணுவோம். நான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் பண்ணியிருப்பேன், இப்போ ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் பண்ணுவேன், அடுத்தது ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் பண்ண தான் போகிறேன். ஸோ இங்கே பேட்டர்ன் வில் சேஞ்ச், பட் என்னோட நீஷில் நான் ஸ்ட்ராங்காக இருப்பேன். எப்படி கண்டென்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லி தான் தர போகிறேன். அது இப்போ மாறிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும் கண்டிப்பாக.
I don't want to push myself, or I don't want to show myself as an expert, because I'm a generalist. சம்மந்தமே இல்லாத டொமைனில், சம்மந்தமே இல்லாத இடங்களில் நான் என்ன பண்ணிருப்பேன், லேர்ன் பண்ணிகிட்ருப்பேன். அங்கே போய் என்னோட ஏதாவது பில்ட் பண்ணணும், க்ரியேட் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி நான் பிச் பண்ணிகிட்ருப்பேன். அந்த டாட்ஸ்லாம் நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணிகிட்ருப்பேன். பட் ஆனால் அந்த ஜென்ரலிஸ்ட்டுக்கு அந்த ஒரு எங்கே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறது, என்ன பண்ணுறது, ஸோ நான் இதெல்லாம் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணணும், இதெல்லாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல். ஸோ அந்த ஒரு இதெல்லாமே மொத்தமாக கிளம்ஸாக எனக்கு ஒரு பெரிய கொஸ்டின் மார்க் இருந்தது. அதுக்கான ஆன்சர் தேடி நான் வந்திருந்தேன். தென் ஹரிஹரன் told me like, see, there are 2 things. You want to generate money out of it, or else you are doing it to express your passion. It's purely out of my passion, to be honest. So there are always an audience for any kind of a content that is going to push on the internet. So be authentic, be more realistic, and just tell people like what you are up to, what you are doing, what you know. Rest will fall apart down the line. You have to go and get started.
I have been a marketer for like 3.5 years. ஸோ எனக்கு வாட் ஒர்க்ஸ் வாட் நாட் ஒர்க்ஸுங்கிற ஃபேர் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் எனக்கு இருந்ததுனாலும் ஐ வாஸ் ஸ்டில் ஹெசிடென்ட் டு ட்ரை அ லாட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ். ஐ ஹேட் ஆல் ஆஃப் தெம் ப்ரெப்ட் அப், என்கிட்ட மட்டும்தான் இருக்கும். ஐ வுட் நாட் ஷேர் டு த வேர்ல்டு. ஐ வாண்டட் டு ப்ரிப்பேர், I'll keep it with myself. If I didn't have the nudge to do it, I would not have done ever. So that is one reason that I basically wanted to come. ஆயுஷ், இந்த வருஷத்தில் மட்டும் 6 முறை ட்விட்டர் ஆரம்பித்து ஃபெயில் ஆகி 7வது முறை இந்த முறை ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கேன். சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லி 2 நாள் முடிச்சிட்டேன். டுடே ஆல்சோ நான் போஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன். ஸோ 3 days done. He made me believe that it is okay to do for the 7th time. I was so much obsessed with building in public. I have built my LinkedIn on public. I built the case studies that I did on public. Everything was on public. But on Twitter, I was still hesitant. He gave me the hope to do that. And he also gave me a pitch to collaborate with people, which I have a plan to send to everyone. I'll send so.
Simple one-line answer is you're overthinking. Twitter is just 280 characters. Write whatever the fuck you want. Nobody's going to read it. Right? No. Go with that attitude. I'm not just bullshitting. There is logic to this. Go with that attitude for the first 60 days.
Okay.
It is not about I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Today I will go. It is not infinity. Today morning this is what I will write about, or this is the 5 people I like who I will engage with. And don't make it like a burden on you. Like whatever you do like a burden, you'll end up quitting it. Hi, I'm Ayush. I build independent micro businesses and I write about them and I share my journey. I share it because I want to pay it back. I want to give it back to other people who are a couple of steps behind me maybe, and who want to build independent micro businesses themselves, because that is the way I have learned from other people who are a couple of steps ahead of me. So that is the culture that I'm part of, that is the culture that I come from, and that is the culture that I want to keep going. I think a lot of people say, Twitter we follow for politics, sports, news, controversy, toxicity, hate, spam. This is not Twitter, right? This can be Twitter. This may be what Elon Musk wants Twitter to be, but you can make your Twitter to be whatever you want it to be. It has the most intelligent, influential, international audience. Most of my followers actually are not from India. That is probably a lot of you might not know me as well. I'm able to build like an international audience sitting in a remote tier 2 city in North India because of Twitter. I don't think that would have been possible for me to do that on LinkedIn or Instagram or any other platform. It is more of an intellectual platform, and if someone like me, like who's an introvert, who is not very comfortable in front of a camera, who doesn't like speaking, like who either speaks too fast or too slow, right? For someone like me, just sitting down and thinking and writing something, writing a piece, a short tweet or a thread, is a great way to express myself of how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling right now.
So it was a simple Twitter connection. We saw each other's tweets, start liking each other, and we started DMing. And these DMs were just appreciating each other's work, right? And curious questions and that's what. And that landed here today, working on this thing. And he has that, business logic into creativity. He's not a creator.
The way to make money out of Twitter is to build connections, build networks, right? That's how like founders meet investors these days. That's how founders get funding for their businesses. That's how founders meet co-founders. That's how founders meet, build a strong net. Your network is your net worth, like the most cliched line in business. But essentially, Twitter will define your long-term, network as an entrepreneur. Right? It is, as I said, it is a great mix of LinkedIn and Reddit in that sense, where it has the smartest people, but who are also interested in talking about business, not just bringing other people down. The kind of stuff that I share on Twitter, launches, lessons, small beginnings, life updates, failures, challenges, everything basically can go under this. This is your personal, authentic expression that you want to share. But it's still within that realm of social media, in the sense that you're still trying to add value to the people who follow you and teach them something, educate, inspire, or inform them in some way. Actually, I come from the SaaS world, like the micro SaaS world, and earlier this year I was at SaaS Bhumi here in Chennai, right in March, and SaaS Bhumi is like the largest SaaS event at least in India and Asia, I think. Chennai is the SaaS capital of India. Right, like most SaaS companies come out of Chennai, then Bangalore, Bombay, Delhi, Gurgaon, anywhere combined, right? So we have a lot of, and there we had a lot of founders over there on Twitter. But if you're building for an international audience, like all the founders who I met at SaaS Bhumi are basically looking to build from Chennai for the world, right? I think Sridhar Vembu is the biggest example of this, or like Freshworks, Zoho, these two companies, they were the first people to figure out how to build a B2B SaaS from Chennai and sell it to the US. Before that, every founder would have to travel to the US and go do one-on-one sales there, or not do at all, or like partner with US companies and all. But these are homegrown Indian companies who are selling to the world, right? So I think South Indian founders are very aware of Twitter and needing to go international and global. The creators maybe need some time to get there. I'm sure they'll get there. The people I'm meeting here, I think they can do so well on Twitter.
Like content creation is one thing, but how, like, you know, like people like Ayush, he has content creation, he has business background also. So that difference shows when he explains something, you know. He gives the logic behind it and not the approach, just the approach. He gives the logic behind that approach. So I think that will be an added thing.
We have the meme lord with us, the Chennai Ryan Reynolds. He has cracked Twitter, I think. He's landed too many opportunities off of Twitter. His co-founders are on, like they are on Twitter. They haven't met in person yet. They just have a WhatsApp group and they're 3-person company who are building and who've grown really well.
I am Sanjeev. I am a generalist. I do many things, but currently I am focused on building micro SaaS products and helping others to build micro SaaS products. The reason I do that is my ultimate goal in life is peace of mind, which means that I need to get money on autopilot so that I don't have to work for money. I can do whatever I want. The best route that I see to get money on autopilot is building software that just keeps generating revenue, because I've lived that life with Supermeme and I want others to experience that, and I also want to build multiple versions of that. So I kind of diversify my portfolio. So that's what I do.
My favorite Sanjeev, the Chandler Bing, right? Such a rare piece, right? Rare human being. I don't know how this man cracks jokes in B2B. In the middle of sales conversation, do you do that?
No, they don't.
Pull out a meme while you're doing the sales contract. Here's a meme that you can see right next to the B2B contract. Right? So it's a very, very difficult task, and he pulls out so easily, and that's what I want you all to learn from him. And he created a product out of it. So he even scaled his content into a product and got people paying for it. A lot more than what he mentions in public. Right? So go ahead, learn as much as you can from him.
I want to convince you that humor is an effective tool for marketing, very specifically. Humor, not just for the sake of humor, but for in marketing. It helps cut through the noise, which to me is the biggest benefit, where when everyone out there is saying, hey, join my webinar, read my blog post, like here is a LinkedIn post, here is like 5 things that you should be doing, everything. When everyone's saying that, humor helps just break out from that noise, where it stands out. And again, think of it in a personal angle. You're scrolling through Twitter, you're scrolling through Instagram. When you come across a meme, you're going to pause for a second just to see, okay, is it going to make me laugh? Because people want their entertainment value, and that's where humor helps. Humor has multiple parts, right? The first part is it should be rooted in something. It can't just come out of thin air. So the first part is how good are you at observing things. So you should kind of constantly be observing, and once you've done that enough, it keeps running on the back of your mind. It runs on autopilot. That is one skill. The creativity part comes in, how are you able to package what you have observed into creative content? Some of it is inbuilt, some of it can be taught, but I like to believe that creativity beyond a point cannot be forced. It can be taught, but it cannot be forced.
Humor is a great way to achieve a lot of things, but the problem is, like, how do we define our brand in a particular meme?
See, it doesn't, like, the brand definition doesn't happen at this level, right? Like, the brand definition is 2-3 levels above humor. So humor, think of humor as a way to deliver your content. For example, like, educational style is one style of content delivery. Opinionated, like, that is one style of content delivery. So humor is another style. So it doesn't have anything to do with the brand itself. I mean, there is nothing stopping a brand from being humorous, like whatever your brand definition is, right? For me, I believe that B2B, B2C, it's the mode in which people consume. For example, okay, the reason this keeps coming up, right? B2B businesses buy. So that's why they say, hey, B2B content has to be a lot more like strict, but then in B2C you can have fun because it's consumers. But at the end of the day, they're all consumers at some point. They're all they all belong to business at some point. Like the same person who's a consumer at one time can be a business user at another time. And there is I don't know if you've seen the movie Velekaran. There's a really powerful dialogue there where I'm only an employee for 8 hours, the rest 16 hours I'm a consumer. So which is the same logic that applies here too, right? So at the end of the day, again, the only thing that's common between them is people. They're all humans. So if you create, the mode will differ, like what you're trying to communicate will differ, but the humor itself can apply in both places. The larger rule is that there is usually not a fixed rule to say this will work here, this will not work here. Just that people have preferences. So typically service companies might have a way to market. Typically product companies have a different way, but I believe that anything can work anywhere if you just modify it. B2B, B2C, product, service. So that doesn't matter, provided you're able to contextualize that to your audience. So everything starts with the audience, not just humor. Right? Everything that as founders, as marketers that we do, starts with the audience. So if you think it's going to land, it's going to work well for your audience, you should try it. And one more thing is that any content that you want to try, there is no way for you to know if it will work or not until you try it. So that's the only way to find out. Because I can sit here, give you opinions, but again, I'm not your audience, right? Your audience are out there. So you should go try it with them, which is what I was telling you, right? Try it with a smaller set to see if it lands and then expand that. That's the only way to find out. People can make a meme out of anything. That's just maybe it's in the culture, maybe it's in our history, or maybe it's in our literature, I don't know. So Vadivelu specifically, right? One thing that I always tell is Vadivelu's memes are they're global. Because he communicates with his reactions, you can use that meme and anyone will understand. Like for example, I've done a couple of Vadivelu memes that I've shared on LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn is global audience, and they get it. Like there's a video, there's this famous comedy where he brings in a rowdy and then Thalaya on the top. So that comedy, like the dialogue and everything is all in Tamil, but I use it in a context of a customer support rep bringing in a product manager into a call, and people understood because the way he communicates, because of the voice modulation. So you don't need to know the language. I think very few people have the ability to communicate across boundaries, and he's one person who can do that. In between, that Nesamani meme went viral, right, across the world. People had no idea who Nesamani was, but then it just went viral. So he has that power. Memes are very easy to just create, very disposable, right? Like you share something today, people are not going to remember it for a while. I think this is something that I really want to encourage everyone to start doing right away. And this is something that you don't have to, you don't need to go through a course, you don't have to go through extensive research, you don't have to spend a lot of time, you can just get started on that right now. Yeah, he's a great example of using memes as a business. Please.
Actually co-run a company with my father. This is one of the most boring industries in the entire world. It's called it's a wedding invite store. It is as boring as it gets. So what I did was that basically took everything, put that in an e-commerce store, but that wasn't enough because people are not ready to buy anything online. So initially what we wanted to do was build trust. So memes was one of the easiest way for us to do. As of now, till now, we don't have a marketing team, we don't have ad budget. We just have 2 people sitting and creating memes in a template. That's all we have. We are making more than 14 to 15 lakhs per month just by making memes. 2 people who are getting paid salaries for 35,000-40,000 per month. That's all. This is all we've been doing. We take problem statements that happen in a wedding or that goes on before planning a wedding. We make that into memes. We're just doing that. There's another live example on how you can scale with memes. You can't say that this only works in Europe market, American market, because this works in Tamil market. I'm saying in Chennai, Dindikkal, Madurai, Coimbatore, these are the places it's been working on. So it works in all granular level.
The context will change, but see, at the end of the day, humor is humor, people are people. So the grounding in all of this is people enjoy humor and hence incorporate humor in your marketing. That's all. If you remember one thing from all of this, just that. People like to laugh. So if you use humor in your marketing, they will connect with your brand.
Simple as that.
Shashank, right? Being just him, right? That takes a lot of this, what I call as, ordinary courage. Courage is like so overused these days. It is connected with bravery and jumping out of fire, building. But to just be you, no matter where you are, what the other people are, he's just being himself, doesn't care about, who else is in the room. He is able to just be himself.
My name is Shashank. I come from Dindikkal. I am called as the stupid partner on the internet. I am an entrepreneur turned employee. I've started multiple companies, failed and succeeded in a couple of them.
The newsletter guy recently has also fallen in love with another one, that is branding. Hey, branding, second relation, affair with the branding. First affair. Right. So pick up as much as you can from him and benefit.
The reason why I like newsletters is because that is something that I can own forever. Till the day I die, I can own my audience. I can get a personal touch with them forever. So that is the reason why I choose to write newsletters, and I choose to tell people that you should also do newsletters. Simple as that. define what you want from your newsletter. It can be a community, it can be to sell a product, it can be to monetize your existing audience, it can just to be, just show off. See, I have it just for show off right now, right? Just flex the fact that I have one of the biggest newsletters in India. That's all, nothing more.
Humor, I always admire humor. I admire that Shashank guy, damn instant.
People remember humor better. People always remember jokes better. When you're trying to tell a very serious thing in a manner that people can take with them for a very long time, that is humor to me. So when I tell that something in a very funnier manner, people relate to that and carry it with them for a longer time. So for me, creativity is not just telling that stuff to that people. Even though I might have a subject knowledge in that, but when I put it in a funnier way, that becomes creative to people, and creativity is subject to for you and subjective for me. So yeah, this is a gentle advice that give like for everyone. So be stupid. Stupid people change the world. There are a lot of stupid decisions that actually change the world. So try to be as much as stupid as possible. And stupid is a compliment in my dictionary, right? The reason why I call myself stupid panna and try to spread this whole concept is that ideas that you might consider stupid right now will do definitely great in the future. 7 years ago when I started writing newsletters, no one thought that this would blow up. No one in India believed that this would blow up. Right now I'm here standing talking to people who are doing amazing in life about newsletters. I never even thought that I'll take a session on newsletter any day in my life, right? So you have to do something stupid. It's not like just doing random ass things. It's about doing calculated. It's about taking calculated risks. It's about doing things that people find let's say unorthodox. That are some things that you can do, right? When you make a lot of content, you build a community. That is probably the byproduct of it. Even though you don't put them in a WhatsApp group or nurture them in any way, once you start making out content, once it starts reaching a lot of people, that becomes a community. But building a community, not necessarily you have to make content, right? Just sharing or talking to the people is not considered as content creation. But once you start making content on the internet, there will be definitely people who become fans of you. There will definitely become people who admire you, and there will be people who have a lot of takeaways from you. If you want to scale or make your community bigger, it's not just about building personal one-on-one connection. You have to make sure that they feel like their friends can also benefit from that community. Their colleagues can also benefit from their community. So once you start giving as much as value, and once you start setting that hierarchy structure properly, because like one person can't run a community. It's like every community, like even 20 members, has at least 2 or 3 thought leaders there. 2 or 3 people who are leading the community in certain manner. Once you start building a lot of leaders like that inside the community, people will start coming in. They'll attract more people. If you're wanting to build a community, you know what to do. Deepak have, as countless times pointed you in the fact that how to build a community and every other stuff. If you want to sell a product, you can basically build a product with your audience. As I mentioned before in the ANCP funnel, you can either build a product with your audience and your customers, or build something and acquire customers so that you can make them a community and sell the product to them. Right? Both ways will work. I wouldn't suggest an entrepreneur to directly go start a newsletter if he doesn't have an audience in any other social media platforms. Let's say, for example, you are big on Instagram or YouTube. Right? There are obviously content that has been published there. You can transcribe them, you can add a little bit more personal touch to them, and do an elaborate version of that on your newsletter. That would be something that I recommend you to. And tools, as you mentioned, Beehive is the go-to platform to send out all my emails, and I would highly recommend Beehive as well. For writing, it is entirely up to you. You can start in a Google Doc, or you can start in Notion. That is entirely up to you. I would really be happy if everyone had a newsletter, but yeah, once again, the platform will be filled with spam. So I would say, if you don't have a purpose, don't start a newsletter. Just stick to Instagram or YouTube or whatever generic social media platforms that is there. I'm not against any of these platforms. These platforms are the ones that build newsletters. But yeah, let's say you are a proper content creator and you want a little bit more personal touch with your audience. I would say go start a newsletter.
A lot of points here, especially the blog, the lead magnet, and the newsletter. This was all something that kept, dragging me. I mean, pannu irundhudu. Today was the push I needed. So instead of just writing a lead magnet or writing the script for a newsletter, I went to my website, set up the whole funnel, whole automation, and even for the lead newsletter, I set up a newsletter itself. So BA panna, na Brevol da panna, but it's something anyway.
That's the suggestion.
And the format I stole from yours actually. And yeah, it was good actually. Thank you very much for the push.
Super. Nice. Thank you.
This is Maddie with his cute smile. See, like how open rate and click through rate is always together. Maddie and his smile are always together. Thank you for always smiling, Maddie. No matter the amount of depression that you have, you keep smiling.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie. I'm a content creator. I create content around business and marketing and other stuff. I also help brands to create content.
Our own JD, our Professor Maddie. The OG of YouTube. There is a quote in stock market. If to be called a proper investor, right, in stock, you should have seen at least two falls, the rise and two falls. This guy has seen all the rise and all the falls. OG. I mean, I know a lot of professors in here respect him to be their own gurus and teachers. It's great to have him here, right, and teaching you all about YouTube.
YouTube is the biggest video library of the world. So if you help YouTube, YouTube will help you. What YouTube wants is, YouTube wants its viewers to stay on the platform as long as possible. So if your video can do that, YouTube will promote your video to more viewers. YouTube is the second biggest search platform of the world. And also the kind of audiences in YouTube is from college students till people who are in 50s. They are also consume content in YouTube. I also have plans to monetize my content channel through some other stuff by selling my products or services in future. So I thought YouTube is the best platform that have the target audience who can pay and buy my product or services. இப்போ நான் வந்து ஃப்யூச்சர் எப்படி இருக்க போகுது அப்படின்னு நான் பார்க்க போகிறேன் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ யார் கண்டென்ட் க்ரியேட் பண்ணாலும் சரி, அவங்க வந்து ஏதோ ஒரு ப்ராடக்டையோ சர்வீஸையோ தான் கண்டிப்பாக வந்து விற்க போகிறாங்க. அது என்னவா வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். நான் ரீசெண்டாக வந்து யூடியூப்பில் வந்து ஒரு ஹேர் ஆயில் ஒரு லேடி ஒருத்தங்க அவங்க வந்து ஹேர் ஆயில் விற்றுட்ருக்காங்க. அவங்க ஜஸ்ட்டு வந்து அவங்க எப்படி ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க அந்த விஷயத்தை எல்லாத்தையுமே டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணி அவங்களுடைய வீடியோஸை வந்து க்ரியேட் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்காங்க. அவங்களுக்கு கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு வருஷத்தில் மட்டும் 50,000 ஆர்டர்ஸ், ஆன்லைன் ஆர்டர்ஸ் வந்து வந்திருக்கு. ஸோ நார்மலாக ஒரு D2C பிராண்ட் வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த ட்ராக்ஷனை வந்து அவங்க கொண்டு வரத்துக்கு அதிகமான ஆட்ஸில் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ண வேண்டியதாக இருக்குது, அவ்வளோ விஷயம். ஆனால் அந்த லேடி வந்து அந்த விஷயத்தை வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியாக பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அது ஏன் அவங்களால பண்ண முடியுது அப்படின்னா அவங்க பில்ட் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்க அந்த ஆன்லைன் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன். ஸோ ஃப்யூச்சரில் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த கண்டென்ட் க்ரியேட்டர்ஸ் எல்லாருமே ஏதோ ஒரு ப்ராடக்டையோ ஒரு சர்வீஸையோ விற்று தான் ஆகணும். ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு வந்து இந்த பிராண்ட் டீல்ஸை வந்து டிபெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்க முடியாது, இந்த யூடியூப் ஆட் ரெவன்யூவும் டிபெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்க முடியாது. அது எல்லாமே ஃப்ளக்சுவேட் ஆகிக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கும். கான்டென்ட் கிரியேட்டர்லேருந்து நீங்கள் வந்து ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஷிப்க்கு ஜம்ப் ஆகியே ஆகணும், வேறு வழியே இல்லை உங்களுக்கு, இல்லைனா சஸ்டெயின் ஆகவே முடியாது. திஸ் ஃபேமஸ் கோட் everyone would have come across. It says don't judge a book by its cover, but unfortunately what YouTube does, it's all your videos are judged by thumbnail. If your thumbnail doesn't look attractive, it doesn't create curiosity among the viewers, they won't click your thumbnail and watch your video. YouTube is giving A/B testing things, these kinds of things, where you can use 2 thumbnails for the same video. So you will get an idea which thumbnail works better.
இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு 1 year முன்னாடி போட்ட வீடியோ வந்து இப்போ நீங்கள் சொன்னதுக்கப்புறம் ஆடிட் பண்ணுறேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். இஃப் ஐ ரீவொர்க் ஆன் thumbnail and post it again, will it get into live again or it's dead is dead?
No, it will work again.
It will work again.
YouTube is the most beautiful platform where it will suggest even 10-year-old video to you. Nice. So the shelf life of videos in other platforms is very short, but in YouTube it's very high. ஸோ நான் வந்து நிறைய லேர்ன் பண்ணுறதுக்காக தான் நான் வந்தேன். ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து லிங்க்டினையும் அந்த நியூஸ் லெட்டர்ஸ் இது ரெண்டையும் பற்றி கொஞ்சம் நாலேஜ் கெயின் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக தான். ஸோ அதை பற்றி தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக வந்தேன். ஸோ அதுக்கான நாலேஜ் ரொம்பவே நல்லா இருந்தது.
நான் ஒரு கண்டென்ட் ரைட்டர். When I post on LinkedIn, my hook might look like it's an obvious hook. After coming here, I started questioning my life decisions. Because especially my conversation with Minank,
the obsession, man, like the obsession that he has for LinkedIn. And even when he speaks, I think that man speaks the way he writes LinkedIn post, like when he starts with a hook, he says a hook, right, gives a pass, gives you a chance to see more or hear more, you click hear more and then he talks more. So like that obsession, right, with one thing, with anything, actually makes you great at that thing, and that is what makes him
Hi, my name is Vinank and I'm the marketing manager at this brilliant agency called Hey Digital. And I'm doing this because, of course, I need money for survival, right? I need a job, I need money for survival. But beyond that, what makes me stick in this role is because I'm passionate about the work, which allows me to be creative every single day. Like imagine every single day you're posting on LinkedIn, every single day it's a new idea, new avenue, new thing to tackle. It's amazing. I'm here to talk to you about algorithm. It only favors two kinds of content. Only LinkedIn, guys. Don't think about the rest of the social media. So wide appeal content and niche appeal content. Those are the only two types of content that you can post on LinkedIn. Wide appeal content is something that is either very emotional posts perform really, really well. And the posts that perform really well are also the very useful posts. Pure value. Don't just add your thoughts and everything on it. Pure value. For how to achieve this. Do this, do this, do this. Done. That's it. People will appreciate you for it.
In terms of LinkedIn, when it comes to creativity, I want flavor in the content. You can just keep posting about the same thing every single day, similar kind of posts. By not experimenting anything, that's not creative. I want you to experiment with different hooks, different meat, sometimes one-liners, sometimes big posts, sometimes like arousal, sometimes a video, whatever it is, right? Sometimes participating in audio chats and audio live sessions. Have a variety of things that you do. That's when someone will discover you via audio, someone may discover you via an event, someone may discover you via a small text post that went viral for no reason. So 100%, I want that variety. I feel that's where the creativity comes in.
So, writing the first post, the starting of your post is the hook. These are the hooks that I usually use. I just went through my profile, I just saw what are the hooks are there. I took a screenshot, made a list, that's it. Something I want more catchy. People should click that see more button.
This is not catchy, this is clickbaity. Catchy and clickbaity.
But I'll deliver that value. Of course, I'll deliver the value. It's not like the meat has to be good. The meat has to be useful. The meat has to have a nice takeaway. The hook is there. This is the meat, which is the entire post. You notice it, right? It's all well formatted. You have to make the post scannable. You can just not write blocks of text. It's like either 2 or 3 lines maximum, or 1 line in some cases. It's never 4 lines. I will never do that. Sometimes, if I'm like ranting or something, I might do that.
The way I use AI tools is a little different. People use AI tools when they go to the AI tool, they ask it for ideas, they try to make the AI tool generate the post, which may or may not work. Why? Because you're letting the AI do the thing. I'm like, just go hand in hand with AI. What is your idea? Write them down, the customer's problems and everything. You write the post. Use AI to polish it. AI is a great polishing tool.
There is a personal LinkedIn account and we have a product page.
Right.
So, for example, if I sell product, what should I write in both? Like, should I talk about the product in my personal thing as well?
People want to follow people, not brands.
Okay. So in my personal page, I should not only talk about the product, correct?
What is the product about?
It's a activity book for kids.
You can talk about your product in 100 different ways. Like why you enjoy working at this company. Maybe talk about the kid before, how he was sad or crying or something. Show a post of how the kid playing with your activity book. That's another post you can do. Then another post that you can do on your personal page is that behind the scene of making the activity book, behind the scene of getting orders, etc., etc. You can do a lot of posts like that. People will see, oh, you're the founder of XYZ or you work at XYZ company. And then they'll go check out the company. They'll go check out the products. They'll be like, everyone comments, right? The network effect kicks in. And then what happens? Sales start coming in.
Some ideas that I have on top of my mind right now are the current challenges you're facing in your business. Maybe follow the trend of build in public. The third idea would be around talking about an employee in your company, any experience that you had, because you're a founder now. You just can't talk only about your business.
Yesterday was on a lighter note. It got intense for various reasons. For me, one is personally because I spoke to Manang and it's like, no, I mean, a lot of revelations. the conversation with him was like, I started reassessing, and it was like a mini consultation call that I had with him, a free version of it. But he walked me through what all I was doing, where was I going wrong, and all that. So after this, till I came here, my mindset was like, okay, I'll do whatever I can do. But now I'm like, I'll do whatever I have to do. I have also started working on niching down on my audience even more. Like, I had an audience. Now I know that that is like way broad than it should be, and I'm niching down on that. After this, after I go back home, one thing is I want to start a podcast.
Meet Sriram Selvan, the verified podcaster, right? The OG of podcasting is going to teach you all about podcasting, and also a very important episode on how to repurpose content. This guy is great at it, right? So extract everything as much as you can from him.
My name is Sriram Selvan. I'm a podcaster. My podcast name is Being Serious with Sriram Selvan. It's a Tamil podcast focused solely on startups. I just bring startup founders to my podcast and have a conversation with them, like how they build. They may come from different industries, like from edtech, fintech, or marketing technology, something like that. So I'll bring them and I just have a conversation with them about how things were happening in their field, what are the possibilities. I just break down what they have done to become to this point. I just tell my audience, like, this is the way that he built the stuffs. You can learn from this and you can apply in your startups or in your day-to-day life, in a job or something.
There's a misconception, like people talking over a mic is called a podcast. Like, more was an interview. It wasn't typical interview. Interview lasts for 20 to 30 minutes, but in typical podcast, it goes like 4 hours, 5 hours. And recently, one guy did for 8 hours straight with Elon Musk and the staffs of Starlink. He done an entire podcast for an 8-hour stretch. Lex Fridman, yeah. So it's an infinite. So we can do a podcast of infinite time as we want. Podcast as a medium is enjoyed only as an audio. It's a passive listening way. You should not actively watching your phone or actively consuming it. Actually, the last podcast I did was 3 hours. I don't want anyone to watch it on YouTube. And the YouTube thing is just a marketing. For the marketing purpose only, I was doing on YouTube. I want my podcast to be enjoyed on Spotify or Apple Podcasts as an audio format while you are traveling to your office or traveling back to your home.
A podcaster, not a YouTuber, not an Instagram, not an influencer, just a podcaster. I just want to identify myself as a podcaster. So someone introduced me like he is an influencer. I'm not an influencer. I'm not influencing anyone. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not making my life out of YouTube. Yesterday itself I just told, like, I want my content to be heard in an audio way. So I just want purely to entitle myself as an podcaster.
I choose a niche called Tamil and a startup. Till now I'm evolving to business as it's more viable. So niche can be anything. Actually, what I'm doing is podcast for startup. No, another one don't have to start in the same niche itself. There is a niche for everything. And I have an interesting example. You see just these two guys, that Arunachalam and Harish. Just everyone knows, right? They both used to go to every event that's happening in Chennai. So an event is officially verified when Arunachalam posts a post on the next day morning. It only verifies it. If Arunachalam is not gone for an event, it's not a proper event. So they too can start a podcast where they talk about the experience they had in an event. If I'm hosting another event, if they are starting a podcast in that niche, talks about attending an event or what's the upcoming event happening on it, I can sponsor him. Like, if he has a particular audience who are interested more into a niche of attending an event, networking more, I can pay him to give a shout out in front of the podcast. That brand collaboration things can happen in this way too.
Normally people would make money out of brand collaborations. As a podcaster, so I work as a media company. So there is something called PR, public relations. Right now I was doing PR to make money as well.
Sriram Selvan, I think, brought that typical school experience sort of thing here, that serious professor. Chalk piece was definitely missing in his hand. But if he just had that, I think it would have been a typical, serious professor. And, he openly took everything out of his personal work and just put it on the screen and showed this is what it is, this is what I did, this happened, this is here, right? He didn't, he could have taken screenshots from the internet and just put out here from other people's work. He just showed his videos, and there were a couple of videos in the screenshot that didn't have like as many views like what other video, but he doesn't really care, right? He puts it out there, so he's just being himself, so great.
It's all about content repurposing. So from a single video podcast, I repurpose it to audio, reels and shorts, podcast clips, 2 to 3 YouTube channels we can create from a single podcast actually. From a video podcast, we can create it. I'll explain it later. So from a single video podcast, I can create a content for LinkedIn, blog and newsletter. So first repurposing is as an audio. Like audio is the main goal. The next repurposing is a video. If we have a video of that, we can put it on YouTube, which helps us in marketing to reach more people. Since people go to YouTube and they don't search and see a podcast, like see a video, just go when the algorithm shows, they click and watch. So I see YouTube as a billboard or something like that. It's purely for marketing. I have a podcast in Spotify, so I just want to market it. So YouTube is just a marketing thing. So from an audio, I just create a video out of it. So we complete video, if for 3 hours, if how much YouTube makes. If a creator is creating 20 minutes video itself, making much money. So if it's in 3 hour long content, it's moreover easy to make much money. So after that, we can create shorts, which can be posted on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is now becoming a video first platform. So we can post it on Twitter. So Twitter also wants video right now. It pushes videos more, and we can use on YouTube as shorts and Instagram as reels. So which helps to reach more and more people over the period of time, and that can be created into a blog post too. I can create a newsletter like this is the podcast come this week. These are the feedbacks I get. These are the things we have discussed. We can write a blog post about it. Actually, we are starting a blog right now. People will try podcast and not number of people would stick to it. I have seen it may be seen easily. Just bring one person, have a conversation with them. Just from a single podcast, just create reels, clips and stuffs, you will grow. But most people can't do that more than 2 to 3 episodes. If you completed more than 3 episodes, you will be in the top 10%. If you've done 10 episodes, you will be in the top 5%. If you've done 30 plus episodes, you will be in the top 1% of podcasters in the whole world.
I think this is the beginning of it, right? This is the big bang, right? The big bang that came out of nowhere, out of nothing, right? That is happening here. Nothing backs us, no institution backs us, nothing is there, right? It all runs with the power of every single individual in here. Look what people can achieve. It's all people, just people coming together. The first half of the question about the people that turned up, right? They made it like I said it on the first day. It's only 50% of what I do makes it feel like a school. I'm trying to make your brain, I'm trying to trick your brain. In fact, after even crossing 30, 40 years, there is someone 40, right? After 40, I'm trying to trick your brain that you're again back to school. So I'm putting this, bell ring and all these things. But now you could have easily mocked at it and gone. But I think they took the next 50%, right? And choose to believe in what we all believed in, right? That made it actually the school experience. Otherwise, it would be like a random guy, standing there and dring and, students, it would have been like, what it is, it's the dumbest thing to say on a stage, right? Once again, that's not even a complete sentence, right? Once again is just a word, right? That's not even grammatically right. And that got the loudest cheer, right? So they made it. Once again.
Thank you.
Once again. No hand sign. Student, teenage. என்ன பண்ணீங்க? Move ஓகே எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு டோனோட
To be honest, I'm a 12th failure. I failed in 12th and I just reapplied. Most of my 12th marks are around 70 only. So this school experience today, I just forcefully put my ID card. So otherwise, what is the ID card?
Starting from that, ring bell. First day when they would enter the ring bell, I was like, wow, what typical school experience. Then silent. Then students. Oh my God, I hate that phrases.
So, okay, 3 days or 2 days now, actually we know each other, but okay, people are helping, sharing, so and the college or the school vibe, but college vibe.
It felt like a combination of school and college to me. Maybe because of the seating and all that, and obviously because of how we speak and all, it is more of school, but having a residential program and having like creators and all the references that we take over here, all that, it feels like it was like more like college.
To be honest, like the Radek, the 18 years guy, so the thoughts and the thinking he has, maybe someone say that overthinking, but the attitude he has and everything, we are not even imagined.
Radek, man, oh man, that guy is so crazy. Some people obsessed over many things, but they don't know what to do. But this guy has a clue what he wants to do, and he is way more obsessed on each and every detail that he is going to collect, or else he is going to acquire that particular piece of knowledge or something. I really like that. I admire those kind of people.
I used to traditionally very much hate the Indian education system, and yes, there were many anecdotes like of school, like us saying good morning sir, or like taking attendance and whatnot. But this was more like, this was the one time where I was looking forward to school. Like I never used to like wake up to school or something like that, but this was something that was driving, I think, all of us over here to school.
But you were pretty late today, right?
Pretty much, yes.
We'll mark your attendance, go.
This was a very prompting session, mostly courses that what they do is just teach us, but this one was prompted us to act. So I'm pretty sure I want all of this community to act upon it. We were taught by the best. We even had a practice session through the homework. I would say, put the work out there. Let's show it. Let's show the work. That's what I would say.
That nostalgia is one thing, and the meticulous planning that underwent, that shows when something is executed very beautifully, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of effort in it. When something is messed up, it's messed up, and this is so beautiful, so effortless, then I understand there's so much planning that went in behind it.
The volunteers are really great. The volunteers over time நம்ம தான் கேட்கும்போது அவங்க கொடுக்குற ஹெல்ப்பாக இருக்கட்டும், அசிஸ்டன்ஸ் இருக்கட்டும், they are so calm, they are so compassionate, and they are really great. And the way each and every part of this event that's been crafted, right, I really like that. I mean, starting from the ring bell, right, and the Deepa has a paper, literally physical paper of each and everything. Surprise guest appearances. More of a way, organization நான் சொல்கிறத விட, that Deepa guy has been sculpting each and every moments, this is how it has to be. He might have visioned it some few months before, and the execution was really great.
It's a really good arrangement with Deepak and everything. The care they take for each and everyone. They come and ask, how is your food, how is your stay? Really, I appreciate that. It's not easy, Deepak, to do this things.
We had wardens, we had caretakers, we had they were there constantly to check, okay, are you okay? பரவாயில்லையா, ரூம் கண்டிங்களா, உள்ளதான் இருக்கீங்களா? All this were done too much good. I just wanted to give them a good round of applause because they seriously ரொம்ப என் ப்ரைவேட் ஸ்பேஸ்க்குள்ளே இருக்காங்கன்ற ஃபீல் எனக்கு இல்லாத மாதிரியும் என்னை பார்த்துக்கிற மாதிரியும் ரெண்டுமே they managed it better. So I liked them. டைமிங் கரெக்டாக பார்த்துக்கிட்டாங்க.
See, when you have a lot of people working on something, right, the best way to guide them is say very less things to them. Do this and this and don't worry about anything else. Right? Just focus on this. Right? Just that's all. Right? How it happened. And that's how we planned things, and the volunteers are like, see, these are my people. I can say that. In my absence, it ran because they were such capable folks, right? I'm pretty sure they announced. I was not even there. I didn't even call them. I said I'm late for the next 1 hour. Deena is the principal, right? We got to use those words to believe in that, students. And I said, it's the principal. So do whatever you want, and no phone call to ask what is happening there. I was not here, I was late, but I get the glimpse. I can see what happened.
So I came, right, and I spoke about the things I wanted to speak about, but just learning from all the professors that are here, right, this has been amazing. They've already inspired me to do so many things, right, yeah, I'm going to go to Beehive now after the newsletter class, and I'm probably looking to start a podcast after listening to Sriram. The students are amazing as well. They have such interesting questions, and in general, I think the vibe is very, I really love the vibe that we have here. It's very homely, very comfortable, and very sharing vibe. Everyone's very kind and very nice. I'm probably the only North Indian here, right? But I don't feel out of place. Right? I think that is the beauty of it. So yeah, I think it's been great. DNA School is awesome.
The experience was amazing, and one of the reasons that I came here was to learn, obviously, from everyone, and also to get under the hood for a lot of these minds, right? Because there are some amazing minds in the room. Because all these people, you've seen them behind the screen, and you've seen like a version of them that they've chosen to portray. Here you get to see them unfiltered. Here you get to hear them unfiltered. Here you can talk to them, and then you can extract as much as you want, which I've tried to do and I've been able to do. But beyond that, all these people are also good friends. So I'm glad to just be among friends and spend time with them. So that way it was good.
It was really fun. I got a chance to interact with a lot of interesting people. For me, outside of both the sessions that I had, I was actually a student. I wanted to learn a lot because getting to listen to these people outside of DNA School is really hard. Yeah, I was really happy that Deepak made me do this. So
it is pretty much interesting for me. I'm doing something different. Like I've been teaching students. I've been helping students. This time I'm helping different set of people. I'm helping content creators. I'm helping entrepreneurs. So I'm finding it interesting.
DNA School has been awesome. Truly grateful for all the love that I'm getting from the students and the fellow professors. Other than that, a lot of doubts. DNA School people are more curious than I thought, which is I admire their grit. Definitely, it's been awesome. Yeah.
When you think about creativity, ideas, ideologies, great products, and great even creatorship and whatever, and content regarding those, people always take references from Western culture, right? We point at somebody who's sitting thousands of miles away, practically not even seen that dude, right? You have no idea who that person in real life, how they react. You've not even seen them, but that's who we end up idealizing, right? And while there are so many heroes in our own community sitting, right, and it feels very bad, right, when you start pointing at, it's not that anything against the Western heroes, right, but we have our own heroes, our own creators, our own writers, our own product makers, our own founders. They have done amazing things, right? We gotta go back to our roots and support our root, right? And I'm not sure if this would end up becoming that, but I want someday, like some kid in college or anywhere, right? Say in an office room, they want to learn this content, I want them to point at this documentary rather than pointing at some international or Netflix documentary or something, right? Maybe at least for once point at our own. In the last 20 minutes, right, as I've been looking at all these things and the review, taking the chair there, putting I knew that I'm getting close to that final moments of this whole program. It feels like I'm able to feel that, and I'm forcibly trying to picture everything so that I remember this moment, right? And it's a very, very special moment to me. Everything that you saw behind the screen, setting up, volunteers coming up, this is what community is, right? And every one of them who taught, they are just another person in my network, as much as you are, right? So this whole idea is to see what people in my network can teach other people in my network so that we grow as one family. This cool thing. But on as a whole, as a DNA community, the idea is to see what one person in my network, how they can help somebody else in my network, how you can support each other, right? And so that even if one of us, somehow makes it out of the tunnel, right? And everybody will get to see the light. When we walk out of this DNA school room, this is what I want to happen. If tomorrow, if you see any negative comment on Aishwarya's Instagram post, you will see this entire bunch DNA walking there, defending her. That is what I want to see, right? When Rajamata finally breaks out and makes her next tweet, the tweet 8th time, or 9th time, 10th time, right? Ayush will be there to like and retweet. This is what I want to see. Every single time you see each other's post on across anywhere on the internet, this you should immediately hear once again. Thank you. Signing off, your community man. DNA!